Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Football Player of the Week show. I'm Jace LeJeune alongside Grant Chachere. And Grant, we have another great show lined up, a little bit different format, holding the microphone. Grant's holding up the ring, so showing off the bling with the Gridiron Football American Bowl game at the end of the year. But this is week 7. We're getting towards the end of the regular season, which is pretty crazy, Grant, considering that the season's just flying by right now. But another important week in high school football. We're going to get a little more variety position-wise in the top 10. We're also going to have a couple of different states being mentioned too. So Grant, it was tough. Me and you had to decide last night. First of all, we had to narrow down to a top 10. That was tough enough. And then we had to rank those guys, and it was even tougher.
Why you guys have to be so damn good? Why you guys have to just be so damn good at football? You're making my life harder. You're making his life harder. Like, we're losing hair off our heads. Come on now. But you know, it's a pretty good week of football, high school football, not only across the state of Louisiana, but in Texas and Alabama and Mississippi. We got a bunch of nominees from out of state this time. And so, you know, when you have more nominees, not only from the state of Louisiana, but from states all over the country, it makes the list even more enticing. It's something you want to look forward to because all these great players are like, oh man, well this guy did this and this guy did that, but you know that's part of it. And you know we got done with the list, and it's a really great list this week, even better than previous weeks. So let's get right to it, Jace.
Yeah, so these are actually guys. You actually go our whole list. Go to gridironfootballusa.com for a whole list of everybody that was mentioned. We had over 40 selections. Now we're going to mention about 5 or 6 that just missed the cut for the top 10. We'll just rattle off a couple of names as our honorable mentions. ERAF, running back and linebacker Mason Abear. And then we have Westminster Christian Academy wide receiver and cornerback David Beasley, who was our top 10 before. You have Daphne High School from Daphne, Alabama, Marquez Lambert. Dino is his nickname. And then we have Dunham quarterback Elijah Haven, LCA DB Chris Allaire, and then Desherhan quarterback Jackson Fields. All these guys just missed out in the top 10. Grant, before we go into the top 10, any of these names really stood out to you?
Oh, yeah, and Mason Abear, he had 22 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss and a fumble recovery. And, 22, so he had 25 tackles, and 22 of those tackles were solo. I mean, that guy should probably be on the list, but the thing is, that's how great this list was, where you had at least a great performance like that out, So he was in my top 10 for a while, but then when you start seeing the other people, like, oh, I don't want to leave this guy out. Oh, come on, why are you doing? And I wouldn't say I'm a defensive guy, but I always value defensive stats because I think a lot of times defensive players don't get that love, especially we don't understand how much of an impact they have on the field. And like Tyrann Mathieu in 2011, I think, he was a guy that should have been in the running for a high, even though he was a candidate, he was a finalist, he should have been, honestly, he should have been a lot more close to the top. But again, I just always give love to defensive players. That's got one guy that stood out to me. And also Dino Lambert, what he did, 10 tackles, 5 of them were solo. 5 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hurries, and a safety. He was responsible for a safety tackle. I mean, that's hard to do as a defensive tackle, but we had to leave that off the list, unfortunately. Like, damn, why you guys are gonna be so damn good? But anyway, Jace, let's get to the list because we got to show these people why they were left off the list because the list this week was stacked.
Oh, it was. It was the most stacked we've seen it all year long, and we're going to start with number 10. Payton Floyd from Hewitt-Trussville, Alabama, starting quarterback for Hewitt-Trussville. He made the top 10 because not only his performance, but he did so against a really good football team in the state of Alabama, as the final score of that one was 55-27 of Vestavia Hills. Good job on the correction there. So we go 18 for 23, 169 yards, and a touchdown. But it was really what he did on the ground that really got him on this list. 22 carries, 257 yards, Grant, and 5 touchdowns at the quarterback position. Very impressive. And the state of Alabama kicks off for our top 10. What do you have to think about that performance?
Payton Floyd, he's the starting quarterback for Hewitt-Trussville, and people who may not are not familiar with Hewitt-Trussville, they're actually one of the better programs in the state of Alabama. They're actually one of the powers in the state of Alabama. So, to put up those numbers as a quarterback is pretty remarkable. I mean, 169 yards is not that much, but when you look at his rushing stats, you're like, okay, that's hard. Not only is it hard enough to do as a running back, but when you're a quarterback, you rush for 250 yards. That means you're a special player under center, and he did that against a previously 5-1 Vestavia Hills team. So we had to make sure he was in the top 10. It was a credible performance by him. And we also have a couple. I think a couple others from Alabama maybe on the top 10, but that's how much states were left because there's kids from Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, you name it. So yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say about Payton Floyd.
Yeah, it's going to be a Gridiron Football National Player of the Week. Last year was just Louisiana because that's where Gridiron Football is based off, but we're opening up to a lot of different states. Alabama, a 6-touchdown performance. That shows you how tough it was to pick a top 10. That 6-touchdown performance is our number 10 spot.
And I would like to say this one thing. He probably needs to be. He could be the starting quarterback for Auburn right now, considering that was dreadful. I mean, they made our LSU's DBs look like the Legion of Boom out there this past Saturday. So, yeah, Payton Floyd. If you're not, you should probably hit up Hugh Freeze right now, bro. You should.
Yeah, I think Hugh Freeze is going to make a couple phone calls. I guarantee you that. And he is a senior, so I know they're going to make those phone calls pretty quick. At number 9, we have from Fredericksburg High School in Fredericksburg, Texas. So from Alabama to Texas we go. Caden Cuns, running back, linebacker for Fredericksburg High School. And the reason why he's on number 9 was obviously the impact he had on his football team. He did run the football. He plays both ways for him in Texas. 11 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. But it's what he did on the defensive side of the football that really helped him get in the top 10. 13 tackles, was all over the football field, 6 assists, 6 solo, a TFL, and then, of course, the icing on the cake, a fumble recovery return for a touchdown. Turned out to be the game winner in a very close 28-22 victory over Somerset High School. So take yourself a bow, young man. Caden being number 9 on that list.
This is a guy, when I first looked at him, I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's going to be the top 5. That's how I looked at first. But then you start going on the list, like, oh, man, there's better performances than him. Like, damn, why you guys going to be so that good? But anyway, shout out to Caden, 13 tackles. 1 tackle for a loss, and the game-winning fumble recovery for a touchdown, along with the touchdown he had on offense. I mean, that's a pretty incredible performance. And by the way, we're about to really boost these egos of these Texas, man, with all these Texas on the stamp list. I mean, what are we doing, Jace? What are we doing?
I don't know. I guess everything's bigger than Texas is what was supposed to be, right? So it's supposed to what the
Cowboys,
right. Right, so I mean Texas A&M, we can kind of go all over with that too. But we'll go. I mean, it's been defense so far. I mean, go from number 9 to number 8. Another defensive player, Humphrey Ned from Jennings High School, a defensive back for him. Humphrey, as a DB, he had his name called a lot that night. 13 tackles, 11 solo too, so he did a lot of dirty work by himself. 2 assists, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks, and even returned an interception, return for a touchdown. Big win for the Bulldogs, 35-7 win over South Beauregard. So we found ourselves back in familiar territory, back in the state of Louisiana for number 8 and another defensive player.
I mean, what a shocker. We have a player from Southwest Louisiana just making all these kind of crazy stats, but that's what they've been doing out there. And there's some great football out in Lafayette and Lake Charles as of late, and Humphrey Ned's one of them. I mean, Jennings High School, famously known as the alma mater of the Travis and Trevor Etienne. I mean, so that's two great running backs. One of them was All-American running back at Clemson. The other one's balling out of Florida right now. But having 13 tackles as a DB, and then on top of that, having 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and an interception return for a touchdown, that's ridiculous. And you would think that would be higher, but then again, these guys are too damn good, Jace. These guys keep making human joystick stats. I mean, they must be I think we're all playing like NCAA Football 14 again, and they're just making crazy stats. That's what's going on right now. But shout out to Humphrey. Shout out to Southwest Louisiana. I mean, these guys keep balling out, and I think Jenny's looking pretty good as of late. But we'll see as the season goes on. A lot of great football in Southwest Louisiana, folks.
Yeah, really. A lot of really good football in Louisiana. And we go into where the river perishes. We're still sticking in Louisiana for our next guy, and a guy that you've actually seen live have this performance, and it is Collage Cobbins from Destrehan High School. Actually, I texted Collage before the game and said, well, Grant's going to be there covering the game for y'all, so make sure you get a couple highlights for Grant. I was like, okay. Collage was like, okay, we'll do. Well, he definitely delivered on his word, right? Because he had 14 tackles. It was all over the football field, 11 solo, 3 assists, 3 TFLs, 1 PBU, 1 interception for a touchdown, 2 quarterback hurries, and he didn't even play the entire fourth quarter. Pretty busy night for the LSU commit.
I just have that impact on people, Jace. Where's that impact? You don't have that impact on people. I do. But you know what I'm saying? But, like, Collage, he's a dog. He's always been a dog. That's probably, like, the third or fourth time I've met him. I've talked to him before on the phone. Well, texted and talked to him on the phone, when I was working with Lee. I was trying to get pictures from him and everything. But I also got to meet him when we did a show over there at Destrehan. I got to meet Coach Guy and Shane Lee and along with Collage. And Collage, he's a dog. And I knew that going into the game. Expecting him to make some big-time plays against Terrebonne, which is, by the way, very great Terrebonne team. Great. And I think they're going to shock a lot of people when come playoff time. And Tyler Lewis is a good friend of the business, good friend of the show. That's why I want to go out there. But Collage balled out, 14 tackles, he had a pick 6. Thanks for giving me by the way, got me 100 likes on that post.
There you
So shout out Collage, bro. Shout out Collage. But yeah, he's a dog, and it's always good to see him again. He's just a great guy, great athlete as well. But I think when he gets LSU, I think he's going to make an immediate impact because that's the type of player he is. He's not afraid of the spotlight.
Yeah, we gotta go. Mr. Viral is Grant's nickname now after the clip he posted on Twitter of the interception for a touchdown. You haven't already seen it, go and check it out. Collage was just fantastic.
Oh, by the way, he's also a murderer too. He absolutely drilled Kylan Billy, which will be his future teammate. Now they're good on good terms, just so everyone knows. If people go see that clip I posted on Twitter, but they're on good terms. They're boys. They played against each other their whole entire lives, and Kylan Billy is another name to watch out for. He's going to ball at LSU. Just be on the watch.
Come on, Collage. You don't want to hurt him too bad. LSU needs him in one piece, right?
We're wide receiver you for a reason. We're not linebacker you yet, but that could change with Collage coming in, and he'll be teammates of Harold Perkins.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to be one stacked linebacker unit, that's for sure. We're moving forward. This guy was so good, Grant, we gave him 2 spots at number 6 and number 5. And you're wondering, okay, how was that even possible? Well, Varno actually played 2 games in 1 week because on Monday they had to play West St. John, Varno, because of some lighting in the stadium. They had to move it and change it to Monday instead of Friday. They played that game Monday, and these are both close wins for Coach Brumfield's squad in 1 week. And Chase Lewis balled out in both games. They got 2 close victories. One was over West St. John, 22-20. The other one later in the week on Friday is a 28-22 win over Cohen. It's like almost equivalent of like Deion Sanders playing football and then baseball in the same day. Flying a helicopter. It's like Chase Lewis had to play at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. In one game, he had 46 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown, 2 catches for 33 yards and a receiving touchdown. Also had an interception return for a touchdown. That's 3 touchdowns, and that's what they scored in that game. 3 touchdowns in a 2-point win over West St. John. And you look later in the week when they had to play Cohen, he goes off again. He has 3 catches, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns, has 25 yards rushing and 9 tackles, 5 solo. Chase Lewis, have yourself not only a day, have yourself 2 days. That's very impressive to have 2 games in 1 week and play at a very high level for your team.
And everybody knows, if you're watching me on the camera, I'm sorry I distracted you, but this the only way I could describe this is the song "Too Legit to Quit." This dude played 2 games in 1 weekend. This dude's an alien. He's from Mars, okay? Like, I mean, not shout out. He'll be next. Sorry for the spoilers, okay? Don't kill me on Twitter, guys, okay? Chase Lewis, you know, I mean, that's two remarkable. I mean, and they both won both games too. I think if you haven't mentioned that, but they won 2 games. So, I mean, his impact in both those games, you know, won his team 2 games in 1 week. And, you know, there's not a lot of players who could do that. Not only not only 1 game, but 2 games the same weekend. I mean, Chase, I can tell you this right now. I hope you got your rest. I hope you took as many ice baths as possible, because your team's going to need you for the rest of the season. So we don't need your knees or your ankles or your shoulders to give out. Your team needs you, dog. Get some rest. Drink some orange juice. Drink some milk. You need milk. But yeah, shout out Chase, man. Congrats on being nominated for the list, buddy.
What was that, MC Hammer?
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer reference?
Just to let you guys know, I went to high school in the Bay Area, so I'm probably going to bring up a lot of Bay Area slang. There's also New Orleans slang, which is where I'm originally from. So I just wanted to make sure I put the 2 legit to quit, because, I mean, that's the only way you could think of this, because he did not quit in both those games.
Yeah, I never thought we're coming in here with a MC Hammer reference, but there we are. You know, we have something every single day. So just like that, with those, we go into number 4, and congratulations, this is actually the guy who was a Gridiron Football Player of the Week last week. And you know our rule: if you've won a Gridiron Football Player of the Week, you can't win again in the same year. So Chad Elsie used that up, but probably his stats are better this week than they were last week when he went off, because he had 8 carries, 313 yards, Grant, and 6 of those 8 carries went for scores. 65-0 win over East Iberville. That's just crazy. 6 touchdowns on 8 carries, 313 yards. It was just safe to say that I don't think East Iberville a lot of times even touched Chad Elsie that night.
You know, I think this is a crop rule, Jace. I think he should be Player of the Week.
See, you gotta be fair, Grant.
This is what happens. You let this dude make the rules here, and this is what happens. We get Chad Elsie. By the way, I think that, by the way, I don't even think he should have won Player of the Week last year. I think he should have won this week. But I digress. This is what happens when you let this man make the choices. But it doesn't matter. Chad Elsie is a dog. He should be getting offers right now. I mean, he's probably a top 5 back in this state right now. And, you know, 8 carries for 213 yards and 6 touchdowns. This man had more touchdowns than, probably yards lost. I mean, he had 6 touchdowns. I was 8 carries. He had 6 touchdowns. 6. That's insane. This dude's an alien. So I don't know I don't know what the coach is doing right now. But if you're not watching Chad Elsie, yeah, you're an idiot. No offense. I don't think you're an idiot, but that's how I feel about him. He's a great running back, and he should be getting offers right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, Grant. Enjoy your last show, by the way. Well, yeah, Chad has just been so good this year. He's still got another year left, which makes it even more incredible. We go into our top 3, believe it or not, Grant. And at number 3 is a wide receiver from McKinley. And he not only put some impressive numbers, right? 6 catches, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the game winner, but he did it on a hurt ankle as well. And against a team in St. Michael that's been having a great storybook run this year, great story this year. Receiver Tyler Johnson, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he did it on a bum ankle. That's very impressive.
Hey, yeah, I think, we talk a lot about St. Michael being a great story, but I think McKinley has been probably one of the better stories in the Baton Rouge area in the last 2 years. I mean, when you think of McKinley, think of the team that, is usually in last place in the district. But, I think, the last few years, their head coach has done such a great job in rebuilding this program. I'm not, you familiar with his name?
Yeah, Ron Allen, Coach Ron Allen.
Ron Allen, yeah, thank you. Because I want to make sure I got his name. And I'm sorry if I didn't forget your name, but Ron Allen's done a great job, a fantastic job with this program. And that's not a bad St. Michael's team to do. St. Michael's was literally a blocked field goal away from being 6-0. and being the driver's seat of the district. So, like, that's a great team. And the fact that McKinley's come out and shown everybody that they can compete with the best too says a lot about the job that Ron Allen has done. And also our boy Nick was there at that same Michael West Feliciana game. And we all saw them against Plaquemine. So we know that they're a great team. So the fact that he not only had this impressive performance against a great team like St. Michael on a bum ankle, and the game-winning touchdown, and over 200 yards received. I mean, that's a great performance in itself. I mean, that he deserves to be in the top 3, but unfortunately, he's not better than the other 2 we have on the list because that just shows you how good these damn players are. I mean, not only in Louisiana, but in the Texas and Mississippi and Alabama. And by the way, I think we should just have a all-star game. I think we should have like some sort of competition where the best teams from Louisiana, the best teams from Texas, the best teams from Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, whatever. They can just compete against each other. So let the Eagles fly out.
Yeah, let's just all bow for it out right at the very end. And we also shout out Eric Holden, gave me a call and wanted me to add Tyler Johnson to the list. Eric helps us with the bowl game a whole lot of times, helps us with our camps. He's the OC at McKinley, so I'm going to give him a shout out too for helping us get that suggestion on the list. Now we go to number 2, and really we had a debate. I mean, myself and Grant had a debate about this one for our number 1 spot. It was really close, came down to the wire, but just missing out on number 1. We go back to Louisiana. Evangel Christian Academy running back and linebacker Toari Drake was our number 2 player this week. 21 tackles. Just kind of continues to headline the theme of this week of defense and really making a lot of tackles on the defense side of the football. 21 total tackles, 14 solo, an interception, a forced fumble, and he didn't play just that side of the football. That's just a whole game's worth on defense. And then also add in 8 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown coming up from 45 yards out. Now they came up just short against a really good North DeSoto football team, but that was definitely a winning individual effort by Toari Drake, who's just number 2 on this list. And I know, Grant, that you're a heavy proponent for Toari being number 1 this week.
And I was, I mean, that's one thing to have his offensive stat. Not only to be on defense, he had 21 total tackles, 14 of them were solo, and then he also had an interception, a forced fumble, which is insane in his own right. But then he goes on offense, has 8 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown. And so, you look at that, you're like, this guy should be number 1. There's no reason why this man shouldn't be number 1. But unfortunately, we can there's a lot of different reasons, but he unfortunately has to be number 2 just because I think, the offense is, I don't know, man. It was tough. It was really, really tough. It was really, really tough. I mean, why these players, this is the problem. We let so many of these coaches nominate these players, and they're all very good, and they all do ridiculous things, and they're all damn Martians. They're from Mars, and they do these ridiculous things, and then we get in this predicament where we have to choose between 2 really good performances, man. I mean, it's pissing me off. He's a closeted Texan. He's not from Louisiana. We don't disown him. He's a damn traitor. So let's get to number 1.
Well, watch out, Grant. I'm a Louisiana guy through and through. Yes, I am. But I'm all about showing love. You gotta show love, Grant. You gotta show love. As at the end of the day, you gotta show love.
Oh, now he wants to be brotherly love.
Oh yeah.
Now he wants to be brother love. Oh man, get to number 1.
We go number 1, right? And like the saying goes, everything's bigger in the state of Texas, right?
Not the Cowboys. The biggest disappointment.
I can't argue against you there.
They're all disappointments. I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. You guys are all great. You just guys got to need to get your top sports teams fixed. But hey, the Astros and Rangers though. Shout out the Astros and Rangers. But besides that, you guys need to get your stuff together.
Hey, there's families out there, Grant. Make sure you're PG, okay?
I know.
All right.
Rated G. You gotta do G.
Rated G, yeah, but I think it's been on the borderline of PG-13 this week. But yeah,
WWE Attitude Era, dog. Let's go, baby.
All right, we're going to go to our number 1, and just very impressive because we had a conversation. If you're number 1 for this week, and then you've deserved it. And Alex Green definitely did from Hutto High School, and that is Alex Green. It might be Hutto.
We don't know,
So Hutto. Either way, it's the same. The stats are still the same. Potato, right? Tomato. Alex Green, wide receiver, had 16 catches, 300 yards, Grant, and 6 touchdowns. He didn't throw for 6 touchdowns and 300 yards. He caught 300 yards and 6 touchdowns. Unbelievable stat line on 16 catches. Got a big win over Temple, 52-31. This is actually, we've had a lot of Louisiana top heavy for a Gridiron Football Player of the Week. So far, it's been won by the state of Louisiana. But this is the second time this year we get a Texas guy, number 1. And Alex Green, he definitely had a winning performance. 16 catches, 300 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I mean, for a lot of people, that's a season's worth right there, and he did that in one game.
See, this is the problem, man. This is what happens when we bring this guy in the show. We have to boost the egos of all these dang Texans. I mean, but to be fair, when you've been good at football for a very long time, and you build 30,000 seat stadiums, and you produce college player after college player and NFL player after NFL player, I can't blame you if your egos are big, okay? But Alex Green definitely has a big ego. All right, he had to show off against Temple High School and just put up 16 catches, 300 yards, and 6 touchdowns, which, by the way, is absolutely incredible. This dude's not even from, I don't think he's from Mars. He might be from damn Saturn, okay? So I think he's, but shout out Alex Green. He's the first non-Louisiana player of the week, and I don't think he will be the only one because, and that's what it says. I like how when all these coaches from different states send all these players, because the more players we have from out of state, we get to create opportunities for guys like Alex Green, so we don't have to pick Louisiana, which can get a little tiring, because we're really good at football too. We got big egos, just like the state of Texas, but we're better. We're a lot better. Okay, we're so much better. I mean, we've won. The state of Louisiana, we've won 3 national championships, baby, in the last 15. No. Since 2003, we've won 3 national championships. How many has the state of Texas won? 1.
And per capita, Louisiana per capita, it's the top state out there. So we're still holding it down in the boot, right? But we're gonna give props to Texas this week. Let them have their fun,
let them run around the park.
So, but overall, Grant, just what are your thoughts on this list? I mean, I thought this was the toughest one yet, and actually it was so tough. Next week, y'all decide. So y'all gonna be voting on it. Y'all will decide who the player of the week is. So, yeah, if y'all yell at us for, you should have had this, well, you should have voted more. So there you go. So that's gonna be it for next week.
Yeah, we hate y'all so much. We want y'all to be stressed out to do our jobs, okay?
That's it. But incredible list. Congratulations to everybody that voted or nominated their player. All the high school coaches, appreciate all of y'all. We had over 40 nominees this week, so we had a lot. It was very insane this week, and Nick's going to be very busy editing the show. I know when it's all said and done. And
then I have to write about it. So I have a lot to write about. I already have a lot to write about anyways, but you guys are making me... See, this is what happens. See, I blame you, Jace. I completely blame you, but...
So him trashing me throughout the whole show, well, that's his punishment. He gets to write about all of this. I don't have to worry about it. So that's what you get for trashing me so much throughout the entire show, Grant. So congratulations on your prize.
Yeah, but they shout out everybody they made that got nominated this week. We'll also on the article we'll also have the links to your huddles and your Twitters to make sure that you get the right promotion, because this is, at the end of the day, as much as we banter about who gets on the list and the different states and the state of Texas, I'm sorry I keep messing with y'all. This is about the promotion.
Like Sandy with SpongeBob.
Yeah, right. Exactly. This is about the promotion of high school football, not only in the state of Louisiana, but in Texas and Georgia and Alaska and Hawaii, whoever. So the more, and if we get some love from California and some love from Maryland, just send your players down. We'll make sure they get nominated, and if they compare to the rest of the guys we have on the list, then we'll make them the top 10. They could even be player of the week. But this is about the promotion of high school athletes, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely nailed right on the head right there, Grant. It's about promoting high school kids, promoting high school athletes. It doesn't matter where you're from, we're going to promote you. And it showed. We got plenty of nominees this week: Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. Go on and on and on. So really appreciate everybody for this list. Congratulations, Alex. Congratulations on being our player of the week. We'll try and get an interview with you as well before the end of the week. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Make sure to check out Grant's article and make sure to check out the show. You get to see us two knuckleheads talk, watch it over and over again. If you have to, make fun of us if you have to. But go to gridironfootballusa.com and make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. For Grant Chachere, I'm Jace LeJeune. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show, guys. And make sure next week we'll start sending submissions in. And for week number 8, appreciate y'all guys. Enjoy the rest of y'all football week.
Protect the boot, baby.